Tacoma, welcome back to TV teaching for 3rd grade. I'm Mrs. Oslin, and today is Wednesday, October 7th. Before we get started with our reading and writing lesson today, we're going to do a quick zones check-in. So think about the emotion that you're feeling right now. Use this chart to help you. If you're not sure what emotion you're feeling, the questions you can ask yourself are, what's happening in my brain? Is your brain calm and clear and focused? Or are you having a lot of thoughts running really quickly through your brain? You would also check in with your body. How is your body feeling right now? Do your shoulders feel relaxed? Do you feel like you have good learning posture, sitting up straight with good oxygen flowing? Check in. Now, I want you to think about how you're feeling using an I message. An I message sounds like, I feel, because, And I'm going to model my friend Rafa. I'm feeling focused because I slept really well last night, and I am excited about this lesson. We're going to read 2 poems today, and I really like reading poetry. Now your turn. Take some think time to use that I message. I feel, because, Now, practice saying your I message out loud. Go ahead. Wonderful. 3rd graders, if you're not yet feeling in the green zone, ready to learn, I want to teach you that one thing that you can do to get yourself back on track, back into the green zone, so your brain and your body are connected and you're ready to go, is if you're sitting or if you're standing, I want your feet flat on the floor and really pay attention to how your feet feel on the floor. They should feel strong and sturdy and steady, calm. And then check in with your core. That's kind of the middle section of your abdomen. Check in with your core. Does your core feel strong and solid? Your shoulders relaxed. And your head and your brain should feel balanced and centered on your body. And then your brain and your body should feel connected. Now that we're all in the green zone, hopefully, and ready to learn, I'm going to tell you the materials that you're going to need for this lesson are your learning packet, your ELA learning packet that you picked up from your teacher. You'll need a pencil and your learning buddy. Get those 3 things, and I'm going to go over to the screen and meet me there with your materials. Our learning intention, what I want us to be thinking and learning about today is, I am learning to make connections to a text to share and support my opinions. It's a lot of words in that, so let's break that down. I am learning to make connections to a text. You make connections to a text when you use your background knowledge. What do you already know about the topic? And when you think about how the author and illustrator are making you feel about the topic. You also make connections to a text when you maybe change your thinking after reading. And when you make connections, you're better able to share what you're thinking with a partner, and it supports your opinions. Your opinions are what you think or feel about a topic. So today we're going to learn to make connections to a text. We're going to read 2 poems today so that we can share and support our opinions. One way we can do that is by discussion starters. We can also use these discussion starters as sentence starters for writing. So I know it's hard to see a lot of the text on this page, but this is in your learning packet. So go ahead and find this page in your learning packet. I'll give you a chance to do that. What you're also going to find in your learning packet is this poem called The Twister by Karen Smith. And we're going to read through this together. While we're reading, I want you thinking about what connections do you have to this text? What does it remind you of? Are there any past experiences that this reminds you of that you can relate to the author? Or when you're reading, are you like, I have never had an experience like that. I don't know what she's talking about. I'm going to have to read more to understand how this author is feeling. So go ahead and find The Twister by Karen Smith in your packet. Okay, we're going to read through this together. Remember some of your strategies for staying focused. You might want to cover up some of the text with a piece of paper and just read one stanza or paragraph at a time. You might want to track with your finger if that helps you focus. And you might want to quietly read the words out loud instead of trying to read them in your mind. Remember, think about what connections you have to this text. What does it make you think of? The Twister by Karen Smith. I've heard about it. I've read about it. I've seen it on TV. Now it's really happening to me. I'm suddenly being taken up, up, up. I see the tops of trees. I can't believe this is happening to me. I'm finally being taken down, down, down. I feel a shaking in my knees. It's almost over. This actually did happen to me. I hear the screams. I hear the moans. I hear my sister yell, "Whoopee! Let's go again. Bet you can't get back to the line before me." Now, as I was reading, I was thinking about this, and the title, The Twister, made me think that this was going to be about a tornado. A tornado is a storm. We don't experience them here, but I have seen movies or read books about tornadoes tearing through towns. And so I was primed, I was ready to think that this was about a twister that I had no experience with other than reading and watching movies about it. But then, as we read at the bottom, it says, I hear the screams, I hear the moans, I hear my sister yell, "Whoopee!" And that made me pause because my understanding of tornadoes is that they can be kind of scary. And I wouldn't think that someone would be yelling "whoopee" during a scary weather event. And then the last stanza, "Let's go again. Bet you can't get back in line before me." Now, you don't get in line to experience a tornado. You get in line, I'm suddenly being taken up, up, up. And then the next stanza says, I'm finally being taken down, down, down. This poem is not about a twister, a tornado. It's about a roller coaster called a twister. So now I can think of this in a whole different way. Go ahead and reread The Twister to yourself, now that we know that it's about a roller coaster. And when you are done, I'm going to be over at the table and we're going to do some writing, we're going to do some jotting about our connections that we have. So go ahead, take a moment to reread The Twister. Okay, now that you've had a moment to reread The Twister, go back to this page, Discussion Starters, in your packet. And a lot of these are setting you up to have conversations, but I really want to think about these as sentence starters for writing, to be able to do a jot or a quick write about our connections. And what I'm noticing is One of them, under confusion, it says, I am confused about. It's kind of right here, which I know is hard to read, but you can find it on yours. And my connection to this poem was that I was really confused about the topic. So I'm going to show you how this is a blank notebook page that you also have in your packet. And I'm going to start with today's date. And I'm going to use that sentence starter. I am confused about the topic. Because I thought the twister. You'll notice the title of the poem is in quotations, and you'll notice that it's capitalized. I thought the twister was about a tornado. But then I learned it was about a roller coaster. Now, think about, what was your connection to the twister? And now that you've read it twice, see if you can use one of your discussion starters to do a quick jot, a quick write about your feelings or thoughts about the twister, the poem itself, or your own experiences on a roller coaster. Now, even if you're not done, we are going to move on because I have another poem that I would like us to read. So I'm going to go back over to the screen. And in your packet, you will find another poem called Great Travels by Shelley Carlin. And I want you to go ahead and get this poem in front of you. Now, you'll notice that both of these poems are broken up into paragraphs. And when we talk poetry, we call those stanzas instead of paragraphs. But much like paragraphs, stanzas have similar information. It's the way that the author organized her thinking. So your paragraphs, when you write, are all on the same topic or same train of thought that you have on a topic. And the stanzas are the same in poetry. And this poem is about some grandparents who enjoy traveling. And I'm just thinking about people who I know who love to travel, and a connection that I have with this poem is my own parents love to travel. In recent years, they've gone to Europe, all over Europe. They were backpacking, they rode trains, they were in Spain. They love to travel. So that's a connection that I have with this poem. So let's read. Again, use one of your focus strategies if you need to help better focus on this. And I'm going to read this aloud. Think about what are the feelings or thoughts that you're having about this poem. Great Travels by Shelley Carlin. Gran and Poppy love to travel. They have traveled far and near. Whenever they travel, I can expect dozens of pictures and postcards to appear. There's Poppy on a camel and Gran feeding a gazelle. They've even been to Cairo and the Great Wall of China as well. I have cards from Rome and Paris, coins from Bangkok in my bank, pictures of them sailing in the Hawaiian Islands and splitting coconuts whose milk I see they drank. They've gone camping in the Rockies, even in the cold. They floated in the Dead Sea. Gee, my Gran and Poppy are quite bold. Gran and Poppy love to travel, great distances on both land and sea. But the best part of their travels is coming home to me. Now that last stanza just really made me think of my parents going off to travel. And I know that while they love to travel and they go for weeks at a time, they love coming home to all their grandkids. So that's a connection that I have with this poem. I'm going to give you a moment to reread this poem on your own and think about your own connections, your own background knowledge or experiences that this poem makes you think of. Go ahead. Okay, now looking back at the discussion starters, one of the discussion starters or sentence frames that made sense for me to use was under this extension, and it was, this makes me think, So I jotted down my connection. This makes me think about my parents traveling, because that's a connection that I have, and I can go on to share my opinions about this poem or about traveling now that I've made a connection. So your independent task today, friends, is going to be using these poems and your discussion starters and your blank notebook page is to do some jotting, some writing, quick writing about your connections that you have with these poems, and what connections are you making with the text that you're reading when you're doing your independent reading, when you're reading your fiction or nonfiction books. And I want you to be able to use those sentence frames to help you write your sentences, write your connections, write your opinions of what you're reading. Remember, you can also use your focus strategies to help you read for longer and longer periods of time. Make sure you're tracking your reading goals, paying attention to how long you can read, and see if you can read for longer today than you read yesterday. Growing as a reader just like athletes do. Thank you so much, third graders, for reading and writing and thinking and feeling with me today. I look so forward to seeing you again tomorrow. This is your 5-minute break. You're going to get up, stretch your legs, go to the bathroom, get a drink of water, and when we come back, Mrs. Wally will be here with you for math. Thanks so much, third graders. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.
All right. Hi, third graders. Welcome back from your break. Check your body, take a nice deep breath, get ready to learn. Here are the things you're going to need today. It's a little bit different. Instead of your whiteboard, I need you to get your math workbook. We're going to be working through some problems in the last part of our lesson so that you can see what you're still not sure on and talk with your teacher about it, okay? So make sure you have your workbook. Have base 10 blocks if you need them and if you have them, and then make sure you also have your learning buddy. So make sure to grab those things and then meet me on over at the screen, and we're going to look at a number and see if we can figure out the ways to write it, all right? Okay, let's go. I want you to just look at this number, and I want you to think about the ways I could write this number. Now, I'm not looking for 320 something plus, I don't want random equations. I want ways that we write this number that mean this number. It's private think time. What are some ways other than just writing the number 576 that we can write the number? When you think of one, put your finger up. If you think of another one, put another finger up. See if you can think of the ways to write it. Go ahead, turn and tell your learning buddy. What are some ways to write the number 576? Oh, I'm hearing some great ways. Here's one of the ways I heard. See if you thought of this way. Oh, maybe. Ooh, come on, smartboard. You know you want to do it. Sometimes we have to talk nicely to our technology to get them to work. 500 plus 70 plus 6. Who can think of another way to write 576? In words. 500 70 6. What's another way you can write 576? Think about your base 10 blocks. Could we draw it? Yeah. How many squares would I draw? It's 5 because we have 500, right? These are hundreds. How many 10 sticks do I draw? Do I draw 70 or do I draw 7? How many 10s do we have? 7, okay. So 7 10s. And how many 1s? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's one more way. And I don't know if I can squeeze it on, but I'm going to try. 5 hundreds. How many 10s? How many 10s did we draw? 7 10s and 6 1s. Fantastic, third graders. What I need you to do now is open to page 43 in your workbook. It's not going to have, it might have this start on it. I don't know if it has the starts. I don't think it does. So we're going to add 215 plus 397. You can just write this on a part of your workbook if you want, or just follow along with me. What is 5 and 7? In my head right now, third graders, I'm thinking that 7 is made up of 5 and 2. And I know that 5 and 5 and 10, and 2 more is 12. So 5 plus 7 is 12. So I put the 2 in the 1's place, and I carry that group of 10 up. What's 9 and 1? And 1 more? 11. So in the number 11, I have a group of 1, 10, and one group of 100, right? Because it's actually 90 plus 10 plus 10, which is 110. So now we add up the hundreds, the 3, the 2, and the 1. What is 3 plus 2? 5, and one more is 6. There you go, 612. Excellent work. So this is what we call refine practice. What we're going to do today is we're going to look at these problems and we're going to solve them. And you're going to solve them in your workbook. I'm going to read them to you, and then you're going to have a minute to solve, and then I'm going to write out the solution and you're going to check your work. And then we're going to move on to the next one. We're not going to have a lot of conversation back and forth today because I want you to notice which problems did I know how to do? I knew it, it was great, and which ones was I still confused on? And then when you check in with your teacher this week, it's really important that you pull out that workbook and you talk with them about the problems you were confused on when you check in with them on the phone. Okay, or if you do a video, however you check in with your teacher each week, I want you to check in with them on this workbook page on the ones that you really struggled with. All right? Okay, so let's read the first one. It says, Diana has 109 magnets. Roger has 56 more magnets than Diana. How many magnets do Diana and Roger have in all? Show your work. Whew. This is a hard problem. It's a really hard one. Let's see if we can draw it to figure out what we know. So what do we know? That Diana, we know that this is going to be Diana. We know that Diana has how many magnets? 109. Okay, this is Diana. Put D for Diana. Okay, what do we know about Roger? That Roger has 56 more magnets than Diana. So I'm going to put Roger down here. Go ahead and do this with me. Okay. Now, look at this. Where am I going to put that 56? This is Roger. Would I put the 56 down here? Would that make sense? If that bar is longer than Diana, would putting 56 in the bar make sense? No. Diana, Roger has 56 more. We need to put it in the part that shows more. 56 is going to go here because this is the part that shows the more. These parts are the same right here. And then this is the more part. So now we need to figure out a couple of things. Here, I want to erase something really quick. We need to figure out how many magnets do Diana and Roger have in all? Well, do I know how many Roger has? No. And do I know how many they have all together? No. So how many problems am I going to have to do? Well, which one should we figure out first? Private think time. Which part do I need to figure out first? Yeah, I need to figure out how many Roger has, right? Because if I don't know how many Roger has, I can't tell how many they have together. So how am I going to figure that out? Oh, good work, third graders. You see two parts right here, don't you? Part and a part makes a whole. So let's add those together. 109 plus 56. Go ahead and do that in your workbook. What is 9 plus 6? 15. 5 ones and a group of 10. 5 and 1, 6 tens. One group of 100, 1. So how many magnets does Roger have? 165. So let's write that in. And I'm going to erase this 56 because it's what we used to solve it, but I don't want us to get confused when we do this next part. Okay? All right. So now we need to figure out how many they have in all. So what should we do? Yeah, I see it too. I see a part and a part, and this is a whole or a total. Okay, so what are my two add-ins I'm going to add together? 109 plus 165. Excellent. What is 9 plus 5? 14. 4 ones in a group of 10. What is 6 plus 1? 7 tens. And what is 1 and 1? 2, and that's in our hundreds place. So how many magnets do they have in all? 274 magnets. Did we show our work? Yep, we did. Nice work, third graders. Let's go on to the next problem. All right, your turn to do this. Find the sum of 345 and 626. Go. I'm going to give you 1 minute. Write it down. You can use pictures, you can use the algorithm, you can use partial sums, however you need to solve it. Go ahead and solve. Thinking time to solve the problem. All right. Watch me go. See if you got the same answer I got. And I'm going to solve each of these a little bit differently so that you can see the different ways. But this one I'm going to do the standard algorithm. The standard algorithm is when I just add each place value together and carry the regrouped group up. So 5 plus 6 is 11 ones. That means it's 1 1 in a group of 10. 4 tens, 2 tens, and 1 10 is 7 groups of 10. And 600s and 300s is 900s, which means my answer is 971. Check your work. If you got that, great. If not, circle it so you can talk to your teacher about it. Now, so many times I see kids, we've talked about this. They just pick an answer and move on. They don't show any work. Not allowed in third grade math. Multiple choice does not mean guess. Multiple choice means do your work here in the blank space and then find the answer here in the list. So the question is, what is 149 plus 293? We're going to solve it, and then we're going to look at what Finn chose and try to figure out why Finn chose that answer. So I'm going to give you 1 minute. Write the equation and solve. I'm just writing the equation out. I want you to solve. Okay, this time I'm going to use partial sums. If you use standard algorithm, that's fine. Just check your answer. So 9 plus 3 is 12 ones. 40 plus 90 is 130 or 13 tens. And 200 and 100 is 300. So our answer is 442. Hey, that is what you should have gotten. Now, it says Finn chose B as the correct answer. How did he get that answer? What do you think Finn did? What mistake did Finn make when adding to get 432? Private think time. What mistake did Finn make to get 432 instead of 442? Turn and talk to your learning buddy. What do you think it was? And I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint as you're talking. Turn back to me. What did Finn forget to do? Finn put the 2, but forgot to regroup that extra 10 into the tens place. Really easy mistake to make. I've made that mistake as an adult. You have to be so careful when you're doing standard algorithm to make sure that you get that 1 up there and make sure that you add it in or your answer is going to be incorrect. Okay? That's why I like partial sums, because then I can't make that mistake, because I've written all of the place values out that I've added and then I add them together and I don't make the mistake. All right, next problem. Mr. Coleman drives 120 miles on Monday. This is another one of those problems. He drives 78 more miles on Tuesday than on Monday. How many miles does Mr. Coleman drive altogether on Monday and Tuesday? Think back to the problem we just did at the beginning. Think about how you had 2 parts missing. You had a part missing and a whole missing, and what you had to do. Solve. Mr. Coleman drives 129 miles on Monday. He drives 78 more miles on Tuesday than on Monday. How many miles does Mr. Coleman drive altogether on Monday and Tuesday? I'm going to start drawing my model because it takes a minute to draw. So this is, whoop, that's not what I wanted. You keep working. I'm not going to put any answers up, so even looking here, unless you want help drawing the model, isn't going to help you, because I'm just drawing this. This is going to be Monday. Did he drive more or less on Tuesday? Let's see. More miles on Tuesday, so Tuesday needs to be longer. And then this is how many altogether. Okay. All right, you ready? Monday was 129 miles. I'm going to just put M for miles. Tuesday, 78 more. Well, I know this part is 78, right? So I got to figure out the whole thing. Actually, I'm going to erase that. We could do it that way, but that's an extra step, and we don't need to do an extra step. So we are going to say right here, this is the more part, which would be 78 miles. Are you with me, third graders? So what do I do to figure out Tuesday? Yeah, I put them together. I have 2 parts. 2 parts make a whole. So I've got 129. Woo! Come on, Smartboard. You know you want to be helpful today. It is having a hard day. I think it's tired from all the work. And then 78. 9 plus 8 is 17. 7, 8, 9, 10. If I have 10 groups of 10, what digit's going to go here? 0, and carry the group of 100. And I have 200. So 207 miles for Tuesday. Am I done? Am I done? Nope. I don't have this number over here. I need this one over on the side. Because the question was, how many miles does Mr. Coleman drive altogether on Monday and Tuesday? So we're going to add it up. 129 plus 207. 9 and 7 is 16. 6 and 1. 2 and 1 is 3, or 3 tens. And 2 and 1 is 3, or 3 hundreds. So 336 is what we got, which is the answer. Down here, you can't see it because I have that up. Hang on, let's get it to go away. 336 is D. Okay, third graders, there are a few more problems to do. Number 5, number 6, number 8. So what you're going to do is you're going to finish out these workbook pages in your workbook. If you don't know how to solve a problem, it's okay. We're just starting school off, but you need to circle those problems and make sure you call your teacher and ask for some help with those problems, all right? If you want to send your work in to us, you're always welcome to do that. You need to arrange to either drop off that work with your teacher or to talk to them on the phone about it so that they know where you are, so they can put your grade in the grade book. Okay, sound great? All right, go ahead and meet me up front and let's do our affirmation. All right. I know sometimes those math lessons aren't quite as fun as the ones where we get our tools out, but it's important that we know what you know, right? So that we know how to help you. So thank you for sticking with me with that math lesson. Today, our affirmation is going to be, my feelings matter. Your feelings matter no matter what they are. They're important, and it's important to share them with someone that you trust. So I'm going to practice it. I'm going to take a deep breath. My feelings matter. Your turn. Thank you, third graders. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.